A 1 2, a 1 2. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tone P. Yo, yo, yo. I was gonna stay out of this, but I'm gonna jump into this whole thing with hip hop and what's happening. I'm not gonna mention a bunch of names, um, but we see recently that a major artist, a millionaire, has been taken into custody by the federal government, and there's questions of whether he is going to spend the rest of his life there. Now, we also seen the same thing happen just a couple of years ago with a young artist who came out and the music that he made, which is similar to the music that this recent artist made, was very, very, very criminal. It was talking about criminal activity. It was talking about taking people out of here. So the charges most recently, and a charge that's often handed down to these artists, is racketeering. Racketeering, pretty much meaning that you are inciting people to commit a crime. So um, you can boast about criminal activity, and then other people go out and do it. Guess who they blame for that? They blame pretty much you for it. Now, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back to the 90s. And the reason why I want to do this is because I know a lot of my fans and or subs listen to rap music, and you guys know that I'm very, very, and I'm sorry I said fans. I was thinking of just musician. But some people I actually do have like 2 or 3 fans, but most of the people here are just subscribers. They don't even know that I do music. But nonetheless, I have been following the hip hop movement because I was pretty much born right when it started. I'm 51 years old, about to be 52, and I was, there when Curtis Blow and Sugar Hill Gang, Fab Five, Five Five Freddy and Blondie, and Run DMC. I lived through all that, through the whole Biggie Small, Tupac movement. I listened to all of that music, and you know, so when hip hop started going awry, pretty much when the Jewish, who control the music industry, decided in the early 90s that they didn't want to hear no more Public Enemy because the music was too positive. So they promoted Eazy-E, who was talking about committing crimes, was talking about, was calling women out their names, was talking about, shooting people and all this other stuff because that's the life that they lived. But this was promoted and it was glorified. And so the positive, people like Poe Righteous Teachers, you stop hearing from them. You stop hearing from KRS-One, who was talking, publicly, but nonetheless, they were still making music, but it wasn't being played on the radio as much. You heard more negative. It's okay to call somebody the B word now. It's just a regular word now. It just, it's just casual to call a woman this word. But back in the day, those words would get you beat up real quick. But next thing you know, all you heard was everybody talking about drugs. Everybody promoting, being bad. Don't go to school. Don't graduate from college. Don't graduate from high school. Then you had the gang violence that sparked up, and I understand gangs, I really do, because when you got a bunch of people who are not on your side out to do wrong, then you're going to get with a bunch of people who are on your side to do right. So I get it. But nonetheless, music was behind all of that. Separate the black man from the black woman. Teach their kids how to grow up and and get a criminal record at the age of 9 and 10, 12 years old. Make sure that the father is either cut off from them, dead, or in jail, and then Bill Clinton give them long sentences. Just give them extra long sentences for crimes that are nonviolent, and just keep the black family downtrodden. You got to understand the Hip Hop Dossier was made by the federal government, and listen, I am not for the federal government and what they have done to black people. I'm not for that. But you got to understand this. When you're promoting violence, you're asking them to look at you. And when they look at you, they look at you and everybody who is around you and the influence that you have and how powerful you are. You got to understand, this recent artist constantly talked about how, whenever people view him, he's number one on whatever radio station that he gets on. He's number one. He's number one. And this is very true. That did not help his case. That's not helping you because of what you're saying. Now, I'm really trying to be careful because I don't want nobody to think I'm dry snitching. Listen, I'm not in the game. I never was in the game. But I see the game. I have seen the game for years. And I've watched the same thing happen over and over and over. I've watched the same people come out, say reckless things, and then get arrested by the federal government. I've watched the federal government take down record companies of people who are not talking reckless, but nonetheless, their company was so-called built off of drug money. I watch people who get their whole homes invaded, and the record companies invaded for tax evasion. Just out of nowhere, the federal police are on your front lawn breaking into your house, taking everything that you got. Listen, I lived in a town where drug dealers were everywhere, and they were flamboyant about it, and the federal government came and cleaned it all up almost overnight. I've seen it all happen. I've seen, and I pretty much knew that the whole Biggie Smalls Tupac incident was going to come to a screeching halt. I knew it. And I felt sorry when I had that feeling, like, I have a funny feeling that this is all going to go bad. Why? Because our leaders, tell me who is one of our leaders now. Don't say Obama. Just tell me who is one of our leaders in our neighborhoods. Obama doesn't live in our neighborhood. In our neighborhood. See, our neighborhood, who's a constant influence to us. See, our leaders have been taken off of this planet real quick. And they make sure that we don't have leaders who are taking us either one way or the other. They make sure of that. Please don't say Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson. They are not our leaders. They're not. You can't name me one leader. You can't. And like I said, Obama is not our leader. Obama was going to Africa trying to promote the gay agenda. I have nothing to do with that. You're not leading me into that. No. I'm talking about somebody who speaks for you. The Hip Hop Dossier was created to stifle people and to catch you in criminal acts. But know this, every rapper out there who's hit the airway is in the Hip Hop Dossier. I don't care what you were talking about. You're there. Your name is there. They know who you are. They know who your family is. They know where you live. They know where you go every day. They're watching you. But here's what I don't understand about the hip-hop artists, the rap artists. Why? Why get the federal government on you. Why do that? You knew that they were watching you. You openly said it. You knew it. And this happens time and time and time again. And I don't understand why keep doing the same thing over and over. And some people will say it's for the money. I was broke. I used this type of lingo to get me to where I'm going, but I wasn't really living like that. Listen, that doesn't matter to the federal government. You know why? Because if you did something, if you said something and it influenced somebody to go out and commit a crime, guess what? They're looking at you. You're the kingpin. You're the ringleader. That's how it is. And I'm tired of losing artists for one reason or another to the federal government or to, murder, because this is happening all the time. It's just why can't we look? The artist, the reason artist was even warned by other artists, he said, look what happened to me. Don't do this. I like hip hop. I was born in it. I used to do it myself, okay? And I still make music, but obviously I'm not a rap star, a rap artist. I don't even rap. I just make beats. But somebody needs to tell these people, sit these youngins down, and really try to get them to understand what they're up against. Somebody needs to talk to them, because we're going to see this happen over and over and over again. Which on to? It's a sad day, America.